Earlier this year, it was announced that DMX would be releasing an album around summertime of 2021. Unfortunately, he passed away just about a month or so ago, but he did manage to complete the album beforehand, and with the help of Swiss Beats, we are getting Exodus at the end of this week, May 28th. There were a lot of people mentioned that he was working with, such as Griselda, Pop Smoke, as well as older school people like Usher and Jay-Z and Nas that we now know because of the track list being out. But with the first single being Hood Blues featuring Griselda, it's only right we go bar for bar and break down these lyrics. So we start off with Westside Gunn's verse.
I'm in the hood, 80K house, $1 million neck. Shot up 200 rounds, niggas know the rap. My coke be the best, talking no steps. Headshot, took off so left.
His house is 80K, so yes, he's more likely in the hood. Because honestly, how do you get a house for 80,000? That's dumb cheap. But he's got $1 million neck, so his chain is worth $1 million, but the house he's in is 80,000. People have their priorities. And then he's just talking about how his coke be the best. Talk no steps. He doesn't want anyone to know the process. He doesn't want anyone to figure it out because it's his product. I mean, I imagine most people don't want to share tips like that.
More jelly kicks, more jelly sweats. I'm on the yard doing burpees, me trouble fresh. My shooter laying low, he got a new body. I pray the Tesla X, you need a new body.
He's still just kind of flexing, just similar to the line with the $1 million neck. So he's talking about his shoes and his sweats. He's on the yard doing burpees. So kind of calling back to, being in jail, I guess. Like the jail yard, you doing burpees and we're just working out. But he could literally just be in his front yard or backyard doing burpees. I pray to Tesla X, you need a new body. That's a little confusing. I don't know why he's praying to a Tesla Model X. He's probably, maybe what he's trying to say is that the Tesla X got damaged in some sort of way. And he's like, yo, you need a new body.
50K got my bitch a new body. You internet niggas, y'all pool 90. The ace space sipper, yay dealer. Pray 5 times a day, get on the wave, nigga.
He spent $50,000 on his woman in his life to get a new body, likely cosmetic surgery. And then he's talking about all these dudes on the internet who are punani, they pussy. They ain't really about it. Like Westside Gunn and everyone else in Griselda, they really bout it like that. But everyone on the internet just be capping. Ace of Spades sipper, yay dealer line, I think that's just him talking about himself again. He's describing himself. Ace of Spades, likely because I think he's still managed by Roc Nation, which is technically me. Like, you can say that you're being managed by Jay-Z at that point, even though he really is pretty hands-off, I feel. But yay dealer, I mean, we know their past a little bit. Praying 5 times a day, that's, I'm pretty sure, I'm not super fluent in, like, the specifics, but I'm pretty sure Muslims pray 5 times a day. And maybe he's just saying, yo, convert. I don't know about that, though. I mean, I don't know if that's what he's trying to say.
Baddest bitch you ever seen doing my braids, nigga. The tech echo like it got delays, nigga. This shit ain't shit, get out the way, nigga. New Yeezys only me, yeah, with them.
So the person that is doing his braids is fine. They're very attractive. And I keep forgetting because Westside Gunn's hair has been growing out, so he do be having the braids now. But he always wears hats, so you don't really see it. Tech echo like it got delays. I took it 2 ways, actually. So first, like literally like the Tech 9, it echoes like it got delays. So it, when it shoots, there's going to be an echo. The other way I took it was this tech, like the technology, it echoes like it got delays. Like there's oftentimes, like we're in this weird age where everything has to be done online. So there's oftentimes just an echo. Again, talking about the nice things he has, talking about these Yeezys that only him and Ye have. So it's an exclusive pair.
Pay attention. Phone the baby, come back at least 7. Canteen to the rec yard, I got the weapon. The butcher coming, nigga.
The only thing I can get from that line is that maybe it's regarding a deal. Like, he gets it for 4 and sells it for 7, or gets 7 out of it. This then goes right into Benny's verse. There's actually no chorus on the song too, so that's something of note. I really like that because they basically just go straight into each other's verses, which flows really well in my mind.
You know how I rock 6 figures off Zaza. Come and spin at my shop, I turn your hood to a hot spot. Every game I feel like I'm Dame without a stopwatch, shooting before the shot clock. Griselda got the top spot.
He starts off his verse again, similar to Westside Gunn, just kind of flexing how he's got a lot of money off the Zaza, which you can only assume to be coke. But it's also funny because you know how I rock, like crack rocks. And he's basically saying like, yo, come spend your money at my spot, like my shop, and I'll turn your hood into a hotspot. Like, he's basically going to take over your hood and turn, like, whatever you had going on before, that's done with. Now it's a hotspot for his product. And Griselda got the top spot. Griselda is in a position where they are very popular. Like, even though they're still underground, technically, they are very well known.
Down like a pawn shop, nigga. I'm thinking, why not? I gave my life to the game, but what do I got? Father these niggas how? I don't even know my pops. This flip phone that I got don't connect to the Wi-Fi.
So he's locked down, Griselda is locked down. They're locked down, locked in. They're in the system. They are in the game, basically. Like, I gave my life to the game, but what do I got? So he's kind of reflecting on what he's put into this music or his prior endeavors. And he's like, what did I really get out of all this? He's fathering these other people, whether they be in the rap game or in the streets. But he's like, how did that even happen when I don't know my pops? Like, he doesn't know his father. Like, it's weird to him, like how he's able to help these people in whatever way he's helping them, like as if he was a father figure to them. And then him just saying the flip phone they got doesn't connect to Wi-Fi is, you know, flip phones are generally burners. You normally don't want to hang on to it too long anyways, so not having Wi-Fi is not a huge deal. Also, I mean, yeah, you don't want Wi-Fi on a burner phone. You don't want any other way that it can be traced. Again, burner phone's going to be tossed away anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much.
This new foreign shit with the wood on the door got me beefing with some niggas I could've put on. They make up lies and put them in songs. I pull up the lights, cop, and down the block, hit me pulling the yard.
And now he's just kind of talking about his fancy car. It's got real wood on the door. And then he's apparently beefing with people who he could have put on. I don't want to look too into that, like into one particular person, but he might be talking about Makami because there's like that they haven't resolved their issues yet. I know Gunn and Makami have, but Benny still has his own feelings about it, I guess. But again, this song was also recorded a little while ago, I'm sure. So who knows? But I think he could also be just talking in general. Like, these are, you know, people just be hating. And, you know, when you hate on someone, you're not gonna get the help that you may want from them. Like, that's not how that works. And then him saying they make up lies and put them in songs really just does make it sound like it's another rapper. Although I really don't know who else Benny would have this sort of beef with.
Yeah, praying with my dirty hands. I did dirt and scam. I'm asking God, do I deserve these bands? And we from Murderland, East Side shit, jeans purple brand, riding in the GLE, the turtle van.
So he's praying with the dirty hands, like his hands are dirty from the things that he's done in his past. And he's just asking God, like, yo, is what I did right? Like, do I really deserve all this money and stuff that I'm getting? Because, you know, he probably did some shit. And I think that's a legitimate question to be asking yourself if you're in that position. And yeah, then he's just ending out his verse again, just kind of talking about where he was and flexing. So he's like, we from Murderland, East Side shit. And then he's talking about how he's got the purple brand jeans on and he's riding in the GLE, which Mercedes GLE kind of does look like a turtle van. I see what he means. This goes right into Conway's verse.
You throwing shots, you better be precise. If I only squeeze it twice, that's me being polite. We was in the trenches, nigga. 4 chicken wings and rice. The shooter 14 can't read or write, but he gon' squeeze his pipe.
Conway just comes in and he's addressing people who maybe throwing shots at him. And he's like, if you're going to throw shots, you better be precise. You don't want to miss me. And he's basically saying like, yo, if I were to shoot back and I only squeeze the trigger twice, that's just because I'm being nice. Like that means either his shots are going to be super precise and just end it quick, or he's just firing 2 warning shots and that's it. And he could be talking about someone specifically, because him saying we was in the trenches for chickens, wings, and rice is like he was in the trenches with this person that he could be talking to, and something happened, and now they shooting. Shooter 14 can't read or write when he's going to squeeze his pipe. I mean, it's possible that the shooter didn't or couldn't read and write because he was 14, but I think what he's really going to is that he was young. He didn't necessarily know what was going on. He was just being told to do something.
We was trying to sell a key a night, cause Nas said a G a night wasn't good enough, and he was right. They mad I'm rich, same niggas that wouldn't see my plight. The next plan, I'm riding to the game with KD tonight.
Like they was trying to sell some product, and get some every night. And the reason they were doing this is because they're going off of what Nas said in Street Dreams, I believe it was, where he's like, a G and I wasn't good enough. Like, that's sometimes not enough. Like, you need to sell more. Like, because realistically, a lot of people who are in this life aren't in it because they necessarily want to. It's kind of just an ends to a mean. Like, they want to get the money so that they can further themselves later on in some way. And that's kind of what the whole Griselda thing is. Like, they got all this money from their previous endeavors, and now they're putting it into the music and making money off of that. So he's saying that they mad I'm rich, and the same ones that wouldn't see his plight, these are just haters. Like, they're just hating. And he's like, man, I don't really need y'all, because I'm going to go see the Nets play, and I'm riding with KD to the game. Like, that's just a flex.
Machine bitch, beat our body. My nigga on his way home, he just beat a body. Every time I leave the house, I got the steam about it on me. My jacket a one of none, you never seen it probably.
He's the machine. He bodies every beat. And then he just goes on to talking about someone else. So like his homie just beat a body. So maybe he beat a case, or maybe he literally just beat up someone. And then every time he leaves the house, he keeps the steamer on him, the heater. The gun. Again, going into the flexing, his jacket is a one of none. Like no one else has it. No one else will ever have it. It is only him.
I took some cheddar out the vault to pay the lawyer for my man. Weapon possession and felony assault. Whipping up at house, he keep the resi off the fork. I'm Kyrie, hitting niggas with the hezzy on the court. Look.
So he withdrew some money from the vault to pay the lawyer man because his lawyer, or the lawyer, got his homie out. He helped him beat the case, which was the weapon possession and felony assault. And then he's probably reminiscing back to the early days where he was whipping up at his uncle's house. But I guess he was learning from his uncle, because his uncle was able to keep the residue off the fork. So he was keeping it real clean.
Reached the point niggas never would have thought, cause every time I drop something, now I'll never get support. FN Max shot severing your corpse. You never could extort me. My heart cold is February 4th.
He's attained these goals that people didn't really think that he would be able to. Which, I mean, that's kind of a thing for a lot of people in the music industry. Like, people always are gonna be like, nah, you won't do nothing. You're not gonna get there. And then here you are. And the reason that he's able to, get all this money and the level of, fame that he's attained is because he always gets support. He doesn't never get support. I'm not sure what the February 4th line is. I know his birthday's in February, and he could just be saying that it's really cold in February, and he just chose February 4th because it kind of matches the rhyme, but who knows? I don't know. So let me know if I'm missing something there.
They hate to see me win, I'm not surprised, nigga. I'm fucking the bitches, them bum bitches you fuck idolize. I'm in Harlem at Lighthouse eating lobster fries, being shooter with me. I got mobster ties, machine.
Similar lines. They hate to see me win. They hate that he is succeeding, and he's not surprised. He's basically saying like he's with the women that you bum bitches, like the ones that don't have money, I guess, or the ones that are not as high end. I don't know how to say, like, what the proper way to say this is, But he's with those he's with those women that you idolize. And then he just kind of keeps going in. He's like, I'm living a lavish life. And then we get the last verse, which is DMX's verse.
I grew up with the dark side, apartheid. Going against the grain and get you kidnapped and hogtied. Ex-illest nigga, village nigga. Never been scared, I'm a fearless nigga.
So he grew up on the dark side. Like, there were a lot of negative things in his life when he was growing up. I mean, most of us are aware because he speaks about it pretty openly. And basically what he's saying is like, if you don't kind of go with what everyone else is doing, if you go against the grain, you're gonna get messed up. Like, you're gonna get kidnapped and hogtied, because it's likely that they would think that you're the ops. Like what, you're not helping us out? I don't know about you, man.
Got the cannon that'll remove your head and shoulders. Catch that play in the street, get ran over. I'ma make you hand over everything you got. I'm not the average motherfucker.
He's got the cannon that'll remove your head and your shoulders. He got a gun. He got a gun that'll just take your whole top half off. And it could literally be a cannon, because cannonballs are pretty damn big and they're very dense. So, and then cats that play in the street get ran over. Cats being people, and they're playing in the streets, like they're part of the street. They're in the street life. They're gonna get ran over by the bigger cats, like the ones that really run things, or just at random, like due to like gang activity or gun violence.
Damn it, cause I'm a savage. Sometimes I can't manage all the shit in my head. I was promised the world, but I got the dirt dead. And the light, I was bred, shed, blood.
Sometimes he can't manage all the shit in his attic. Like, he has been pretty open about his own mental health, and I mean, that's kind of been a reoccurring theme in his career. So, you know, it's hard to manage what's going on in your head. Like, your attic, like, what is happening? Like, there's a lot of stuff that happened in his life that makes it even more difficult. So I totally see where he's coming from there. And him saying I was promised the world but got out of the dirt instead could be his parents. It could be the guy that he really looked up to when he was younger that got him addicted to drugs and stuff. He got the dirt. Like, he thought that he was going to be able to just do anything. And he, through all the struggles, still had a very successful career. So there is that. But it was definitely not an easy thing for him. And he's just like, well, it's just life. That's just how things go sometimes.
It's always gonna be fuck you, nigga. What? Built for war, roll this 4-4 will hit you to the dog to accept snowfall. I done poked more niggas than Ashton Kutcher. Westside, Conway, ready butchers, nigga.
So him saying he was built for war, raw, this 4-4 will hit you through the door, is an allusion to that Biggie line, kicking the door, waving the 4-4. And then he's like, you will exist no more. And he's punked a lot of people more than Ashton Kutcher, who, if you aren't aware, hosted the show Punked. And then I really like how he just kind of shouted out everyone on the track. Like, that was dope. This then goes right into an outro from DMX again.
Get like you live, nigga. Get how you fucking live, nigga. You know what the fuck it is? You know what the fuck it is? I ain't 50 years old for nothing. Right? I'm not 50 years old for nothing.
So his outro is really just him being aggressive. Like, he's like, you know what this is. You know what time it is. Because, you know, DMX is that dude. He can say that. And then him saying he ain't 50 years old for nothing. That's a hard line. Like, I'm happy that they put that in there, because he was barely 50. Like, he made it through all the struggles. And he made it through everything that was happening in his life, all the negativity, all the mental issues that he was having. And he made it to 50, which, it's a success in its own right, given all the struggles that we are aware of. But, damn. That's the song, though. The beat is a beat that a lot of other rappers used in the past. I know Sean Price, Raekwon, Joey Badass. It's not the first beat that would come to mind when I saw that it was DMX and Griselda. I was expecting something a little bit more, I guess, dusty, like the typical Griselda sound. But this still worked really well. They all did a fairly solid job. I know some people, when the song just first dropped, like a couple minutes after it dropped, they were like, this kind of sounds more like a Griselda track featuring DMX. And I can see where you're coming from because he is the last verse on here, and his verse is a little bit shorter and might not have as many, I guess, punchlines and metaphors in it. But I mean, DMX is still throughout the song. He's kind of doing the ad-libs in the background. So I can see what you're saying, but I still think it's a proper DMX song. Another thing that I saw is that his voice is a bit different, but that just makes sense to me because he was 50 when he wrote this, so you kind of can't rap the same as you did like 10 years ago. As far as the album goes, I hope that it's more I mean, there are a lot of features on it, but I hope it is more focused in on, like, I guess, normal song structure. Like, this sort of song works every once in a while, like where there's no hook, nothing, just straight rapping all the way through. But, you know, the general public isn't really here for it. I like it, but I don't know if I would want a full album like that. But from what I've heard, Exodus is going to be an amazing album and a really good send-off to DMX, so I'm not worried in the least. In general, I tend to not really care as much for Westside Gunn. I like him as a person, I like the idea of him, and I like his ad-libs. But sometimes with his rapping, it's hit or miss for me. This was dope, though. But Benny and Conway, you know they were going to bring in their A-game. Like, they brought in really solid verses. I really do appreciate that they included that outro, though, because it's important to note. Like, he had, like, even in his verse, like, he talks about all these, well, he doesn't talk about it directly, but he alludes to all the struggles in his life. And having him outro essentially saying, like, I made it to 50, that's hard. Like, it's hard into, like, it's a dope thing to include, but it's also like, damn, bro, like, he was only 50. But anyways, that's all I got for this track. Let me know in the comments below if I missed anything or misinterpreted anything with these lyrics, because as always, that is totally a possibility, because I don't know everything. They could be referencing things I'm just not aware of. Also, let me know what you thought of this track and what your hopes for the album are. Also, like and subscribe if you want to see more content and breakdowns like this. Thank you for watching, and please stay safe out there.